Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Global Online University. I, your educator, Dr. Trupti. Here represents you the Unit 2, that is Research Aptitude. And the topics for the today's lecture will be research report. So we'll see exactly how the research report is to be presented. Then we'll go for research presentation. We will understand styles in referencing. At the same time, we'll understand the abbreviations in research. And that is for your UGC NTA NET Paper 1 examination 2021. Now, when we're talking about the summary for today's lecture, so today's lecture, as I said, it will be highlighting what? It will be highlighting the steps in research report. It will take care of research presentation. It will talk about styles of referencing, and at the end, we'll see the abbreviations which are used in referencing. So let's start with the research report steps. Now, this can be a question for you wherein they will give you I mean to say they will just mismatch or they will just give you steps in any different order, and you have to put them in the correct order. Okay, so it starts with the title or a cover page where your topic is presented with the rest of the details. It then go ahead with the certificate of originality. Now when we talk about certificate of originality, it contains the signed statement of the scholar, research scholar, which who takes a responsibility of certifying or reporting the information which is presented is, it's maintained with all the confidentiality, that is with respect to ethics, and it will be carried out only for the purpose of research. So this is, I mean to say, you are giving an responsible statement that this is an original work and it is carried only for, or it will be taken referred only for the purpose of research work. Then, when we go for acknowledgement, it talks about the I mean to say the expression of a gratitude of who, I mean to say, with maybe you have taken help of various intellectuals, various financial or other contributions, whichever were a aspect of your research paper. When we talk about abstract, it's a summary about your whole research. Then then you start with the introduction part, okay, which tells you about which tells or which makes the people, the reader, understand about your research. Then the limitations or scope for the study, going ahead with literature review, followed by research design, which has to be in a very detailed form, going with data analysis and interpretation, coming towards the conclusion, referencing and bibliography, and appendice. Now, when you talk about appendice, it's nothing but, it talks about your various materials, that is in the form of questionnaire, in the form of maps, pictures, glossaries, letters, or any supplementary material which is used in your research has to be added over here. So this is how the research report basically is about. As I said, it will be focusing more on steps. There will be some I mean to say, very rarely there will be a topic on any of them in detail, but mostly it will focus on, it will focus on the topic, that is the putting the things in sequence. So anyways, if you remember, research design we have studied in detail, literature review also we have done, referencing we are going to do today, data analysis and interpretation is done. So these are the few basic topics where you can get the question from. Okay, at the same time, there was a student, once one of the student had just commented regarding the value or the weightage for each unit. Now, every one of the paper is divided into various units, but make it sure that there is no importance, or any unit is specifically important. Every unit has equal amount of weightage. So on an average, 5 questions from every unit is expected, which makes a combination of 5 questions from 10 units, that is 50 questions. So if you feel that if you skip any unit, it will be you will be you don't have time right now, you can just skip a unit and then you can concentrate on the rest. But there is nothing such that that unit, if you skip, the questions are not going to be asked from that unit. So I just a valuable suggestion and an advice to every one of you: do not skip any unit. At least make sure that the concepts of the units are clear. And in net examination, this is more on concepts based. Your concept should be clear in order to answer any type of question. So you have to ensure that your concepts are clear. Rest care, you have to read with respect to questions very minutely, with a proper understanding, and you can answer them in an easier form. Then going ahead with the research presentation. Now when I'm talking about research presentation, this research presentation basically is it in various forms. Okay, that is conference, symposium, seminar, a colloquium, or workshop and webinar. So let's understand a few things about each of them. So when I'm talking about conference, it's a formal meeting, okay, where where the participants participate in order to exchange their expert views on the topic. The delegates hold the consultation and discussion on a number of topic or the theme for the conference. The keynote speaker, I mean to say the keynote speaker, or the person who has expertise in this field, speak on certain important or certain important points. And it can be in any field. It can be in the field of education, it can be in commerce, it can be in trade, it can be in any field. And this is how the conference is all about. Okay, so here again, your question is expected that they will be giving you the question or an example, and they will be telling you to find out, okay, what it is, whether it is whether it is a conference, whether it is a symposium, whether it is a seminar, and so on. Okay, now going to after conference, symposium. Now if you understand this concept minutely, symposium and conference are one and the same. Okay, what is then the exact difference between them? So as per the main difference, okay, the only difference which is seen between both of them is that uh, that this I mean to say, the speakers who they come together, they speak on the chosen topic at sorry, conference is conducted at a large scale, okay, for a larger duration, whereas symposium is conducted at a smaller scale for a short duration. So it is basically the pattern, the framework is the same. It is on the base of on the base of the larger scope, or the scale. Both of them differ. So one is on the larger scale, that is conference, whereas symposium is on the smaller one. Then going ahead with seminar. Now seminar is basically for academic instruction, okay, offered by any of the commercial, professional, or a university. Smaller groups actively participate in this. Concepts and techniques are presented. They're discussed with the help of certain combinations, either in the form of a lecture, in the form of visual materials, or interactive equipments. So basically, seminar is done, within form of academic instruction. So this minute things they will give you, and they will tell you to tell what exactly the form of presentation is. Going ahead with the webinar and uh, sorry, over here, instead of it's webinar, and here it should be web conference. Okay, so just to make a correction over here, web conference, which is basically held exclusively with the help of internet. Either you can attend it online, okay, and with the help of PPT presentation, it can be used with interaction, by interacting with the participants. So that is what the webinar or the web conference is. Going towards Your colloquium is nothing but an informal academic meeting, which is, which can be of a dual nature also, whereas, a question answer session can be conducted, a question session followed by the answer. The basic purpose of the colloquium is basically to address the contemporary, I mean to say the present academic concerns with either, with the students who are doing that particular course or the program, the educators, the industrialist, okay, researching on this particular topic and deciding the worth of it. Colloquium has to be very strictly academic with a theme, and it is the main aim is to, to analyze or discuss a particular topic with gathering the views. It's like a brainstorming, okay. So this is how it works. And then lastly we have, that's what a mistake I did over here, so you just correct it out. That is, lastly we have is workshop. So when I'm talking about workshop, basically it's not necessary that it has to be an academic. It can be non-academic also, uh, having, affiliations or, a formal agenda for a specific get together, I mean to say for a specific meeting. So that's how the workshop is. So these are the various research presentations forms. Now in last year, the question which was seen on this is, they will give you a statement, okay, they will give you ideally a statement, it is a meaning with, with a twisted or confusing words for you, just to ensure that, it is to basically find that which statement belongs, or which is the correct statement, to identify the research presentation type or a form, okay. Then going ahead, next is your style of referencing. Now, when we talk about style of referencing, definitely a lot of references, various references are used in research. Okay, so this style of referencing has to be, if you're applying for any specific university, or if you're studying it in detail, so it's very important that you have to represent your paper in a specific style. So let's understand, what is the specific styles. And I have just explained you in a tabular format, so it will become a little bit easier for you to remember. So like for example, here I have taken three styles, that is MLA style, APA style, Chicago style for notes and bibliography, and with the author date. But they have domains different. So if it is MLA, it is used in humanities, that is English, art, history, philosophy, music. If it is social science and engineering, we use APA. With its history and humanities, we use Chicago, and notes and bibliography. With its physical, natural, or social science, we go with Chicago. Okay, wherein, it works for insert in-text citations, okay, listed at the same time references, which is listed at the end of the paper. uh, Here citations, I mean to say, the link is given in Chicago notes. It utilizes the footnotes and endnotes also to link the resources, okay. And if it is author and date, it talks about references, that is, which again appears at the end of the research paper or research article. Now, when you talk about APA style, the humanities play emphasizes on authorship, okay, and interpreting the primary resource in a historical content in a and it's in past way. The author's name is the first piece of information, which is followed by the title and the publication, and on the work cited, that is list at the end, which is created. If you go with APA style, these disciplines place emphasis on date, creation, or publication. If in an effort to track the currency and the relevancy, the date is listed immediately after the author's name. Okay, when it is Chicago notes and bibliography, it is typically accompanied by a bibliography page. Okay, and by if it is I mean to say, if this particular Chicago author and date, it is identified by the references of works cited pages. We are going to one of the lecture where small topics will be emerging. Most probably the last lecture, I will once again take this topic with an examples. It will be a revision for you, and I'll be including a lot of examples, so it will be easier for you to read it. Okay, coming to the last part of the topic, there are certain abbreviations, that is Latin abbreviations, which have been used. Okay, and those abbreviations has some weightage. So let's understand those abbreviations, which are used, Latin abbreviations which are used in research. Okay, again, for this you will be getting the type of questioners that they will be giving you any abbreviation, and they will be giving you the style of abbreviation, so you have to find out the right out of them, or recognize the a correct one if the long list is given to you. So what you have to do is that you have to be with a little bit careful when you are understanding these abbreviations properly, because it's important that you should know these abbreviations in a proper manner. So let's go with ETL. Now ETL, that is this Latin word is written. Okay, that also you have to just take care. Maybe any type of question can come. Okay, where it represents that more than two authors have worked, okay, for the but particular study. And in order to represent so many authors, okay, we write, the abbreviation is ET, that is ET dot sorry ETAL dot. So this is the abbreviation to indicate that there are other authors also. Sorry. Now when I'm talking about next, that is IBID. So you have the name as dem, IB, uh, IBIDEM. So that is the Latin word, which talks about what? Which talks about your, I mean to say, it tells you about the consecutive notes from the same place are cited, and it is used for the references of a second note to avoid the repetition of the whole note. So that's how its IBID works out in order, or it stands for identical elements. Then when we use ID, this is an abbreviation, that is IDM, which is meaning is same. Okay, so it is basically used as in a reference in place of an author's name to indicate the author is the same as the preceding reference. Okay, so it is like the same, the repetition. Going with the next one is dot CIT, that is loco citato, meaning is in the place cited. So you just have to remember the Latin word and the meaning also. It basically refers to the work which is immediately preceding the references, and it can be used as instead of IBID, when all the citation details, including the page numbers, are identical in nature. And the last one is OPI dot sit. It's an abbreviation for the Latin word opera citato, which means the work is already cited. So it basically refers to the previous references, though they are not the immediately preceding one, but is preceded by, sorry, it is preceded by the author's name and it is followed by the page numbers. So you have to see this research subject. Obviously, it's going to help you a lot. So whenever you see a video lecture, or whatever details are discussed in the video lecture, after that, at least for some amount of time, your self study is important. You are listening to the lecture, you just realize the terms, but after that, your self study for a good number of time is important in order to get this topic revised. Otherwise, what will happen, meanwhile, sorry, during the time of examination, it will be complete burden, and then to remember the concepts and the topic is not easy. So for the day, that's all we had. Only hardly few topics are remaining, which one is with basically with research ethics. Okay, now after research ethics and certain topics on impact factor, one part is remaining. So there are research ethics is one of the important topic which is left. Okay, and ITC in research. So these two important topics which you have left, which will be doing in this coming next 2 days. And then As usual, after the end of this, we'll be having a proper crash course for your research unit also. So just ensuring that by the time you people, we come to the crash course, you are seeing all the videos, you're doing a self study also, and preparing the concepts well, so that there can be a proper revision during the time of your crash course. So that's all for the day. Have a nice day. Keep learning, be safe, and keep going. Thank you, everyone.